Because, like, I mean, it is time, but they don't see it that way, right? Like, it's time, except they continue to sell them like crazy. And it's not like I played some, like, this isn't even worth talking about because I played so little of it, like maybe 2 hours, but I played Tears of the Kingdom on my flight the other day that was delayed. So I was like just sitting there and I was like, dude, I've got to do something. And so of course I punished myself by taking my Nintendo Switch out. No. And I started playing Tears of the Kingdom, and that game, performance doesn't matter at all for that game. I mean, it like, okay, like,
and the performance is nowhere near as bad as like something like Pokemon 2. Like, it still operates at a acceptable level, even if it's not your new PC or PS5 game. Like, it still, runs well, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, generally. I mean, there's like some build mode weirdness where, like, whenever you go into that, it does get kind of framey. But what's even funnier is like the like in a lot of games you feel it when it's 30 frames, and I feel like that game like in general you're already feeling playing a game on the Switch. Like, there's like those thumbsticks aren't quite right, like the controls, like it's not a shooter kind of device, like
Right.
it just you're already making enough sacrifices by playing that game on that platform.
Right.
That suddenly the performance doesn't even really register in your brain anymore as something that like is worth being upset about, like it's just, you're already there. You've already your brain is adjusted to the expectations of playing on a portable device. So I don't know. I think
and that's the thing too about the Switch is I've always kind of looked at it as their new handheld device. You know what I mean? Instead of their new home console device, and they just obviously hybrided it, but that's the whole deal. But just in general, I don't really think of it as like the console just because I can play it on my TV. Like it wouldn't shock me because like when I try to think about like how they'll move forward with the Switch, I really just, the best reference is the 3DS, which they kept alive for very, very, very long and just iterated and iterated. And it'd be interesting if they did that with the Switch and then also did a home-only console of some kind that could also play Switch games, but maybe also had its own game like exclusive to it. I don't know, but I feel like they're definitely not leaving the Switch behind is what I for sure feel that, but
I mean, at this point, based on the proven success of the platform, they would be really silly to revert back to separate SKUs for a mobile and and home console. But I mean,
but they did the opposite. They made the Lite that is handheld only.
Yeah. I mean, I think there is some truth. I mean, we can look back at. I remember we did this some time ago where we saw like platform sales, but I feel like there's some truth to the idea that the Nintendo handhelds are always the better selling platform, in the long run compared to their home console counterparts. I mean, so by kind of combining those two, I mean, like the 3DS was one of the highest selling platforms ever. Again, I mean, it did, like you said, they kept it on life support for a decade. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still see people like buying 3DSs online and buying 3DS games and stuff like that. They did shut down the eShop, which really sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah. You can still download the stuff that you already own, but it's done for. So, which is, I think, again, I mean, just another thing about Nintendo. It's like they get away with so much shit just by being Nintendo. I mean, and I'm not even one of those like weirdo, like you go online and you'll see like gamer bros being like, Tears of the Kingdom is the same map, bro. Only Nintendo can do this. You know what I mean? Like, who fucking cares? I mean, there's so much new shit in that game. It's like, no one fucking cares. Come on. But like the thing that's worse about Nintendo isn't like how like whatever. I'm notably not a fan of their games generally, but I think that their business practice stuff is way more diabolical than anything relating to how they develop their games or their final products that they put out.
Oh, for sure.
Like the extreme DMCA takedown stuff, like cease and desists on like fan projects, like, you know, they're generally a conservative, despicable company that only gets away with the shit they get away with because they make fun products for children. I don't know. I I think whatever Switch successor there is, I imagine they'll probably start talking about it late this year, early next year. That's my anticipation.
Yes. Yeah. I kind of feel similar. I've always felt ever since they did the OLED, okay, they'll let that breathe for at least a full year or so, and then probably talk about the next iteration of it. Yeah. So
has it already been
agree.
2 years since the OLED? It has, right?
I can't remember if OLED was last year or the year before, honestly.
Let's see.
I just know it looks sexy as fuck next to that PS5.
October 2021.
Okay.
So
we're almost at the 2 year mark.
Almost there. So I think that's like the line in which they'll start
what's
to feel
happening in September. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll start to feel okay about, all right, let's ask all of the idiots who pay money for stuff to pony up again, you know. I am one, by the way. I mean, I have.
Yeah. Or the people that didn't, maybe they're ready to.
Do I still have? I think I still have my Switch Lite. Or Switch, was it Switch Lite? Was that what it was called? What was it called? Switch. Yeah, Switch Lite, the handheld only one.
Yeah, Switch Lite.
So I had the launch Switch, which now Mossberg has. And then I had the Lite, which I actually ended up using more than the original one because it was so much more portable. Kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then now the OLED. So I am the target market. I mean, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And I mean, so which one have you liked the most so far? Because I think the OLED is the best version of it so far. The nicer stand and stuff. I just love it. And the screen, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the OLED is, I mean, putting PS Vita knew this from the beginning, putting an OLED screen in a handheld. And even then, I think it was like the Vita screen was still not like a proper OLED, like to the degree that, you know, modern panels are. But like that device, the screen on that thing still holds up today because of how beautiful. That was just such a smart choice.
Vita is so fucking gorgeous. Like, it's an amazing little thing.
And I think the Switch OLED, I mean, Joy-Con drift, I guess, being such a popular thing to complain about, this would never work. But I do legitimately think that the solidness of the Switch Lite when it's in your hands because the Joy-Cons are attached, is something that I wish they would have gone with on the OLED as well. Even though I know me saying that is probably one of the most unpopular things I've ever said. I do not give a fuck about buying other color Joy-Cons or whatever. So, but I really think that would have been nice.
In my opinion, it is much better than at least the original. Those felt like they were going to like break off at any given moment. Whereas with the OLED, it is like, and there's obviously still like, you know, detachable. So it's not like that true solidness like that the Lite would have, but I do think they did improve upon it at least a little bit.
It's a lot less rattly, that's for sure. But I mean, it's still it does feel more solid. It feels like a premium product, which is nice. I mean, the stand, everything kind of contributes to it. But I don't know. I mean, I do really like it. I like looking at the device. I like using it. Even though I don't use it really as much as I should. I was gone for 2 weeks and literally only used it on the flight. But I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I'd really like for, I don't know what it is about that and the Steam Deck that shooters just feel truly terrible. But
It
I'm
is something about, I think, the screen being next to your hands. There's something weird there, or maybe it's how far apart your hand. I don't know, but I agree with you. It is. There's something about it that isn't right.
especially for a
For both,
device like a handheld where latency is reduced and things like that. You
right?
would think that they could really drill down and kind of get it sorted. I mean, I've always thought of it in terms of the thumbsticks, like like the PS5 has some of the nicest thumbsticks in any controller, and that goes a long way in shooters. Although I still like, there's plenty of games I've tried to play on the PS5 as a first person game that just don't feel quite right. So, um, but
Yeah, I honestly think it is. There's just some weird mental gymnastic thing with like the hands being what you're seeing when you're trying to get immersed into the shooter. That's just not how you would, that it doesn't. I don't know. That's what it is to me. I think it's like something about looking at where, I don't know.
yeah,
It just doesn't work for shooters for me.
yeah, I agree. I mean,
It
I
just
think
feels off.
they tried to fix it with gyro controls, which I was not a big Splatoon guy. I don't know if you were.
I tried.
I think, to be honest, and I used the gyro aiming in Breath of the Wild and now in Tears of the Kingdom. I do think it helps, but it's not really practical for most situations. I mean, it works for Tears of the Kingdom because you're aiming every, you're aiming 10% of the time, right? It's not like
Right.
constant. Whereas, like, if it was like a first person shooter where you're always looking around,
Right.
always aiming, you'd be like, dude, what the fuck am I doing? I don't know. I guess you could use it only when you sight in, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird problem, but I want them to fix it because I do think that there are a lot of games, like the Steam Deck can handle so much in terms of power that
Yeah.
I like, you could play Half-Life 2 on the go. People definitely are and making it work, but that game it requires some precision aiming in a way that I really don't think the Steam Deck is capable of.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're back. Howdy. Oh, that was a long fucking intro. We've been talking for like 20 minutes already.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering if that was going to be the intro or if we were just talking.
I mean, sometimes I just hit record and just see what happens.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, I'll probably leave all that in. I mean, I don't know. Have you been recording this whole time?
I started recording at some point for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should probably make it more clear in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I was at some point I realized I was like, you know what? This is probably the start. So I'll go, but I don't remember when that was.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. That could be for us. Everything from before is for us. No one else gets to know. No one else gets to know my bad opinion on Nintendo.
It was definitely before that.
Oh, well, great. So everyone gets to know my bad opinion on Nintendo. Excellent.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're back. You are listening to the Infinite Scale podcast. As always, joining me is Chris Crossley. I'm William Chandler. And, we were compelled by our lawful duty as video gamesmen, to get together and discuss the events of the last couple of weeks, because I've been gone, but I kept up with a lot of stuff. I watched the Summer Games Fest thing, which we don't even really have to talk about that much, but we should. But
I have things I want to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
For sure. But I can imagine. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I have things I definitely want to talk about. So
Okay.
yeah. I don't know what came from Summer Games Fest, but I think it's all from the past week. So whatever, it works out. It might all be from Summer Games Fest.
Well, I mean, there's Summer Games Fest did have some stuff. It just
Yeah.
so we already talked about the Sony showcase last week. We talked about some Diablo last week. Last time. I don't know why I said it was only a week ago. It feels like a week ago, but it was like 3 weeks ago. But pretty much all of the stuff that would normally have been in the E3 window, I guess I would say is now done. I mean, would you agree? I think.
Probably more or less. I could see some stuff trickling.
Yeah. Just
throughout the summer, just because, some people don't do it the same week, I've noticed. But
okay.
Yeah, we got the bulk of it for sure, I think.
Yeah, it feels that way. So
yeah,
I feel safe calling this E3 season pretty much over with some. Yeah. I mean, I know Steam Game Next Fest, whatever the hell they call that thing, is coming up, and there's like a THQ Nordic thing that's coming up, which could have some interesting games in it. I mean, they acquired a lot of studios, so. But overall, I would say we're through it. So
right.
So between the Sony showcase, let's do this really quick. Let's stack rank these bad boys because I love stack ranking shit. So we've got Summer Games Fest, we've got the Sony showcase, we've got the Xbox Games showcase. I keep calling it the Sony showcase. I do not remember or care what they called it.
I honestly, I just looked up a bunch of trailers, so I don't even know what happened where.
Yeah.
But based off of whose logo was at the start of the trailer, I have a pretty good idea of what happened where,
Okay, all right.
Or just what's owned by who. I imagine, Microsoft had all the stuff they own.
Playing a shell game here. I mean, it's you also have Ubisoft Forward as well, which was kind of a confusing event because most of I watched a fast forwarded version of it about 20 minutes ago, and it was basically stuff that had been announced at other events, but in longer form gameplay trailers. So they spent some time going through that Prince of Persia thing.
Right.
They spent some time going through Outlaws and the Assassin's Creed Mirage. So
that's kind of what I noticed about a lot of not a lot, but a handful of things across the board. They had a trailer that was shown at a presentation, and then a more in-depth sort of thing that probably happened right after the trailer, either in that presentation or maybe afterwards. But which I like. I like having a trailer, and I like having a little more to give as well. I like when they do that.
All right, so hit me with your ranking here. What do you think? Summer Games Fest, the show, Xbox Games Showcase, the Sony presentation, and Ubisoft Forward. In terms of what interests you, which event did you like the most?
Sony had the stuff that I liked the most, but that's just a huge bias, mostly because they showed Final Fantasy VII stuff and Lies of P stuff. I really enjoyed all of that. And then honestly, Ubisoft, because the Assassin's Creed VR looked pretty fucking cool. And so did... Oh, what was the other thing that looked kind of cool? I guess Star Wars. That was them too, right?
Yeah, Outlaws.
Yeah, Star Wars looks all right. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but it looks all right. I don't know. Okay. And what, were they the Avatar game too?
Yep, Avatar.
Yeah, no. Ubisoft had, honestly, probably the most stuff I'm potentially interested in.
Had some hot shit.
Cautiously optimistic for a lot of these things they're making, but Uh, yeah, I was
So
especially pleasantly surprised by Assassin's Creed
I
VR. Anyway,
think the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth stuff was actually the Summer Games thing.
oh, that was at Summer Games. Okay,
Yeah, that was like their big closer. Um,
well, that was fucking dope.
it was
But
sure was some more of that Final Fantasy VII. That's for
right,
sure.
exactly. It was just more of that. I'll take more of that till the day I die, baby. Give it to me.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would go. I'd go Xbox as my personal choice. Followed by Ubisoft. I do think they had a pretty interesting one. Then Sony. Then Summer Games Fest for me. Um, and I think the only reason Ubisoft ranks so high is because it just focused. I mean, it by its nature was going to be better than just something that was just all trailers. You know what I mean? Like I like gameplay deep dives personally, even though maybe
Yeah, and
that's
they
not what
did
gets
that for
the
almost
clicks.
all of them. So yeah, they
Yeah,
knocked it out of the park.
I mean, and all those games look pretty decent. More than anything, I'm
Yep.
just curious how they're going to turn out. But I
Yep.
really appreciated Ubisoft's like directness in terms of, um, like, okay, we'll use Outlaws as an example, and we can get more into this. We should probably go in chronological order through these things, but I really liked their commitment to showing games not running that well because they're still a while off from release, but they really wanted to commit to showing like full gameplay sequences. I'm pretty forgiving for that stuff. Like Outlaws was
Yeah.
not running great
Right.
really throughout that whole demo, but it looked nice and I could see them getting there. You know what I mean? Like
For sure.
generally
For
Ubisoft
sure.
games perform pretty well. So
Yeah. The biggest thing that worried me about it is that it's coming next year, which kind of tells me that it's towards the end of development. So I hope that's just like a year of polishing.
I mean, these days you wrap development weeks before that game ships. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, they'll be working on it till it ships, right, for sure. Yeah, I hope it's solid because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And I am always down for cool Star Wars shit. But yeah. In terms of going in order, I'll be honest. Like I said, I just looked up a bunch of trailers, so I have like a list of things that interested me that I kind of have here.
we're not going to go through every little thing, but I want to start
Yeah.
with Summer Games Fest because that was the.
Okay.
When I say chronological, I just mean in terms of the shows. So
Yeah,
let's
okay.
let's go deeper in on Summer Games Fest. You have a list that interests you. I'll just go through kind of the heavy hits. It doesn't have
Right.
to be in order that they were announced, but so like we said, they closed the show on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They showed quite a lot of that game. I did not finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I have
Okay.
beaten original Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Relatively recently, actually. And
Nice.
already I was confused.
So yeah, for sure. If you haven't beat, has 7 Remake been spoiled for you?
No, somehow no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how respectful the internet and just, I don't know, people, I guess, in general have been in terms of like, it's almost like when God of War came out, at least for me personally, I never saw anybody talk about Kratos getting,
Yeah.
the blades or any of those kinds of things. Like, people respected the secrets
Yeah.
of that game pretty well for a while. And same with 7 Remake. Like, there is crazy spoilers that you just don't hear people
Yeah.
talking about. And I would highly advise you to finish that if you can, because if you I don't know, I think it's a really good story they're telling, and I don't know how to talk about it without spoiling
No,
it.
yeah, fair
But,
enough. I
yeah.
mean, the new one looks pretty good. I think the heavy linearity of 7 Remake really bored me. So I'm more interested seeing kind of the open world stuff.
Yeah,
I thought 7
feel that.
Remake, I don't know, it started off pretty slow and took a long time to get going. And I know that they were trying to justify having an entire game take place in the city in Midgar. So,
It's just so crazy. I don't know, because when I've tried to replay it, it really almost feels like it's just the setup game. Like
it's the prologue. It really is.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so lore heavy. There's so much dialogue and cutscenes, and I love it. I love it all. But like, yeah, it is kind of slow in that way.
I mean, an original Final Fantasy VII, that part of the game is like 5 hours long.
Right.
I mean, like it's. I don't know. I found myself getting really bored at a certain point. I don't think the gameplay is enough to carry me through that. So. But I will go back and finish it. I mean, I played it on launch on the PS4 Pro. Just seeing it now on a PS5 would be worth it alone.
Oh, it's
to go
crazy.
Through it.
Yeah.
Did they? You know what? And maybe I don't know. Maybe they mentioned this. I can't recall. But is the next part coming to both consoles, like PS5 and PS4, or is it just PS5? Did they talk about that?
I actually wasn't paying attention for that. So I don't know. Let me see.
Searching 7 Rebirth PS4.
Yeah.
According to pushsquare.com, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will not be coming to PS4. Yeah. So
it's probably for the best.
So now we're officially transferring to a new generation. Finally, after 3 years,
nothing holding it back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll get to that when we talk about Starfield.
Is it on? Is that a cross-gen game?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Nope.
Good.
Yeah, 7 Rebirth. Big announcement. They saved it for the end. They said, "Oh, we got one more thing," and that was it. And I think people were disappointed because it wasn't totally new. Like it wasn't a surprise. Like people,
And if I would have been watching the event live, I would have been fully, and I imagine other people were too. I would have been fully expecting Elden Ring DLC.
That is literally what everyone was saying. Yeah. I mean, I thought the same when I was watching it. I mean, for real, it did seem like that was going to be the case, but nope.
And
nothing like
everything pales in comparison to Elden Ring.
Of course.
So
yeah, I mean, everybody was thinking like Bloodborne remastered, just something stupid. I mean,
yeah,
and
it's just, and with hearing nothing from FromSoft basically since when they talked about Armored Core semi recently, but
and they had a hands-on
the DLC
event
is coming. Yeah, we know the DLC is coming, and they did like the crazy Elden Ring big reveal at Summer's Games Fest, whenever that was. Yeah. So people just probably kind of had it in their heads, and it's nobody's fault, but it would appear here or something from FromSoft. So yeah.
Yeah, Keeley loves putting FromSoft stuff in his presentation, so everybody was pretty sure that. So I mean, I guess at this point,
I bet he tried.
I'm sure he did. I mean, of course. Yeah. I think man gets hot for exclusives, hot exclusives. Yeah. I think at this point, I'm starting to wonder if we're looking at a next year release, because I was pretty certain that we'd have an end of 2023 DLC. For that game, because it's already been over a year since Elden Ring.
Didn't they say it was coming this year?
I
could be wrong. I genuinely don't remember. I thought it was confirmed for this year though.
I have no idea.
Maybe winter.
They have yet to confirm. They have yet to confirm any kind of release date.
Okay.
And
They haven't even said then. Yeah.
They haven't mentioned it since they announced it. So.
Yeah. Okay. So us not getting a trailer here then makes me feel like, yeah, maybe it is going to be next year. And fuck yeah, dude, make it big, make it girthy, baby.
People are
choke on that content.
People are anticipating. Nice, hell yeah. People are anticipating that from their financial reports, based on what they're saying for 2024, people believe it'll be April 2024 or later.
Cool. Yeah, a solid 2 years after, I'm in, baby.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I think the Dark Souls 2 style. I know we've talked about this. I prefer the Dark Souls 2 style of a bunch of different little expansion packs. But you know what? I don't. I'll take it whenever. I really don't.
I want the big one. I want the big. Yeah.
It's fine. More content, more FromSoft stuff. And I mean, I am gonna play. I haven't played the last like 3 Armored Core games, but I am gonna get back into that as well.
And Gabe was telling me this one seems really Souls-like in terms of it just being a bit like really action RPG-esque. Not like a 1-to-1 like a Souls game, but just he was saying it seems like a good fast-paced action game, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude, I'm into that.
Yeah, I mean, Armored Core games got faster and faster over time, and we're at that natural end point where ever since they made the last Armored Core, they've made Sekiro and a bunch of fast action games. So I do think that's probably true. I've seen some gameplay. They had an event for it out there where people were getting some. I don't think it was hands on actually, but it was you got to sit down and watch somebody play it, and it looked like an Armored Core game. I mean, it literally, to me, it seems pretty faithful to that series, which is nice. Looks cool. Looks very anime. So, like in terms of dash striking and like big parry stuff. Just like very.
You know what? He said it also almost looks like it's kind of like Nier Automata in terms of how it plays, like that really stylized, just like go crazy, have fun.
I would agree. Yeah. And I mean, you get total control over all of your weaponry and mech specs. So like you can kind of do whatever you want. Yeah, it's neat. So I'm reading the hits. So this is, according to IGN, this is their order in what's the most important to least important announcements. So here we go.
Okay.
So we did Rebirth already. That was at the top. Spider-Man 2, they announced the release date at this Summer Games Fest thing, October 20th. I don't think that game looks that good. Moving on.
I mean, it's just going back to the thing we've kind of talked about before where, I don't know, I'd love to see them do something new. Like, I don't necessarily need another Spider-Man. They already knocked it out of the park. I don't need to do that again for like 20 to 40 more hours. Yeah. I'm sure it's a good game, but I do kind of have the thing where it's just like, but what really is going to be new about it? It kind of is just probably going to be more of the same. And the story, as a comic book nerd, I'm sure I'll enjoy a lot, but like, I don't know. I'm excited for them to do new stuff more than anything. So ready for that.
I still have not played Miles Morales, so I will not be playing this, but I really liked the first one. I mean, I did really enjoy it. I just, please, anything else. We don't need to go through this conversation again, but God damn it, do anything else.
Yeah.
Insomniac is such an amazing studio. I mean, they've made so many fucking good games. All right, I'm moving on. They announced the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown thing. Did you see the backlash online about this? Did you catch any whiff of that?
I couldn't even finish watching the trailer, so I can imagine. It seems so uninspired.
That's so funny that you and I are basically in complete disagreement. I think this looks really cool.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's like a Hollow Knight, like a Metroidvania kind of thing. I mean, a lot of people were really pissed that it was 2D instead of 3D. And then, of course,
that's not my issue with it. I just, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was seeing anything that I hadn't seen before. And Prince of Persia as an IP doesn't like particularly interest me. I don't love or hate it. It's just like kind of in the middle for me. So it's just like, all right, IP I'm not in love with, kind of game I've seen before. Maybe I should have finished watching the trailer. Maybe there was more there, but I don't know. I'm not particularly interested. That's all.
Story wise, stuff like that, I didn't really pay attention, but I think gameplay wise, it looks really nice. And this is the same studio that made those Rayman games.
Okay. That's
within
the most
Ubisoft.
Interesting thing. Then I love those games. So
yeah, I mean those games are incredible. So I'll play anything that they make, frankly. But a lot of people were really pissed. Like basically every annoying person, like being a fan of video games is the worst now. It's like being a Star Wars fan because you have to contend with the fact that you are in the same group of people as some of the most annoying people you've ever met. Like people that like given total diplomatic immunity, I would kill. And I mean, it's like really embarrassing that like people get so worked up because they imagine 2D games as being somehow less than 3D games by default.
Yeah, dude. Okay. I was in a discussion with this kind of thing with Merced and Jerry like a little while ago where I was trying to argue that like I don't know, they were saying games that look like Shovel Knight or that are like not going for like a super high definition look objectively look bad, and I'm like, no, they don't. They're just trying to look like their own thing. It like they don't have to be super modern high quality graphics to look good. Like they look good in their own way, and they're like, no, they look bad, and they weren't fucking with me. And I was
disappointed.
Like,
I'm disappointed that we're friends with these people, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
too.
it's like they're the same. Okay, I people like that are truly incapable of appreciating art, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me because like if you look at you look at two paintings side by side. I'll use fucking Jackson Pollock and Picasso. I mean, you could pick any fucking two. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're going to argue that there is an objective, correct, better painting, I hate Jackson Pollock, by the way. I think he sucks. Does that mean objectively he is worse than someone? Or you could go the other route. You could say Picasso died without a lot of money and Pollock died wealthier. Does that make him objectively better? Do you know what I mean? Like just shit like that. You could play this game with literally anything. And it's stupid.
And that was the thing. My argument too. I was just like, please at least just admit that you just don't like that style. It's just that simple, right? Like it's not objectively bad. You just don't personally like it. And they're like, no, it's just bad. It looks bad. And I'm like, y'all have to be fucking trolling.
Oh, man, yeah. The internet has ruined all conversations by making the word objectively like incendiary. Like it
like when literally changed to not literally.
Yeah, right, exactly. Kill all gamers is how I feel. I'll happily take one I'll die in order to eliminate all people that I don't like. Mortal Kombat 1.
I mean, that's happening. It looks good. I'm like, you know, casually interested in Mortal Kombat as a franchise. I think it's cool as fuck. My fighting game is Street Fighter, so that's where like my hype goes, but it looks cool. Mortal Kombat always looks cool as fuck, so hell yeah, dude.
Summer Games Fest was the presentation where they gave like kind of the extended gameplay look, and
yeah.
I mean, I don't like fighting games really at all, and I think it does look really beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous game. I'm interested. I didn't play the last one, but I had played all the stories of all the kind of since 9, which was like effectively a reboot.
Yeah, right. I've wanted to do that. I've wanted to play through the story of their new modern like story that they're telling. I've really wanted to. So wait, that reminds me though. I wanted to bring it up. Are they rebooting again, or is it just called 1? For another reason.
Well, so I did not finish. I didn't actually even play the last one, but the apparently the last one ended in a way that makes this like a reboot as like kind of a joke. Like it still plays into what the ending of the previous one was, which was a character became a god, and then what we're seeing now is like their kind of idealized remake of the world.
Okay.
So that character still has the powers that they got at the end of the last one. Everything else
so
is
it's a continuation, but the one is okay. I mean, I like that, and I think they kind of. It'll be interesting to see what the next game is called, I guess, because I think they kind of know. Yeah. Eventually, with the numbers thing, it is kind of getting silly, and I wish Final Fantasy would realize that too. But yeah, I think at some point, going up to a higher number is a bad thing. Is how I feel. I think it starts to look bad.
You're right for pretty much every game except for Final Fantasy, in my opinion. I think at this point it's part of the joke, like it's part of the fun.
I do low key feel that, but also I wouldn't mind if they just dropped it now, or at 20 or something, like end on a crisp fucking even with a 0 at the end, and then just do something else. But
well, they do Roman numerals, so it'll be XX.
Oh, that's true.
Which
That's
is
fire
pretty
too,
cool.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty
I'm into
cool.
that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Or we can get all the way up to Final Fantasy 69, and I'll live my real dream of whatever that is.
true. Yeah, that'll be.
Probably VR.
Yeah, I don't know if you go online. Like, there's Final Fantasy 69 already exists on sites. Turn your private browser on.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
familiar.
um, let's see. There was a Fortnite Transformers crossover. I don't fucking care.
Fortnite's still good. Playing it
Yeah, I'm
still.
sure. Yeah. Sonic Superstars, fine. I'm not a 2D Sonic fan.
Yeah, yeah, right. I'm same, but happy for the people that are.
Yep.
They exist. Yep.
That's true. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Yep.
This is where we got Alan Wake 2 gameplay.
Yeah. How'd you like it?
I'm stoked. I mean, I'm
It
really
looks
stoked.
cool as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I
Also,
was like, damn.
I really love Sam Lake giving like pretty much not any kind of reverence to Jeff Keighley at all. Like just, I mean, he seemed, and this could just be his general mode. I mean, I don't know him. Like, I haven't seen him speak often enough to know if he's
Right.
like this normally,
like
but
Right.
but he was so low key about everything, and Jeff Keighley is so tuned up all the time
Right,
that in
yeah.
contrast, it seemed like he hated Jeff Keighley, even though that's probably
Yeah.
not true.
Right.
But I really like that.
So, is it just me, or did the gameplay feel almost like Control, but more less intense and stuff? You know, you're not throwing rocks around with your mind and shit. But it looked like Control, but Alan Wake. Like,
I mean, I think it's going to be a lot slower paced than that. Like, it feels like they'll
Right,
focus on
right.
small groups of enemies that are harder
Yeah.
to take down, more survival horror, which I'm into. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you saw like she had like 30 bullets or something in that, like as her total amount of ammo.
Yeah, just literally how it like looked when the camera was moving around, or like when she would aim down sights and start shooting. I was like, damn, this like looks like it would feel like how Control feels in terms of just like it's solidly made. And I don't know. Yeah, it's something about that. It just I don't know. I was like, yeah, I can tell this is made by Remedy. I guess
I hear you. I mean, I think it is probably built on the same, kind of basis, right? I mean, like, I think, Control was far and away their most successful game. So I mean, well, I guess I don't know compared to Max Payne 1 and 2, but that was so long ago, like, whatever.
Yeah, I would imagine just the numbers of modern day games, it's probably way higher.
I would think so too. So I'm going to say Control is their most successful game based on literally zero numbers, but it definitely seemed that way. I mean, most people, I would say Remedy was more of a niche developer before Control.
Yes.
And it really brought them to the mainstream in a huge way. And so by that metric, I would say, they'd probably want to keep as much of what made Control a success in terms of feel as possible. But yeah, I mean, overall, this game seems really slow, which I prefer. Yeah. I mean, I again, Control is one of those games I never finished and should.
Same.
And I wasn't a huge fan of the way Control played personally. I was a huge Alan Wake 1 fan. Merced famously not a big fan of that game, but
yeah, I never played it, so I have no opinion.
You should.
Yeah, I kind of want to. It has a like remaster now, right?
Yeah, they did like a quick remaster. It didn't seem like it was bad or anything. It didn't really seem amazing either. I think they just bumped the resolution up and made it run better on modern hardware. But
that's all I need, baby.
Sure enough. You sent me this earlier, right? The Like a Dragon Gaiden. The man who erased his name, the offshoot.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were doing one, bringing back the boy.
Yeah, it's a spinoff, so it takes place kind of outside of the main canon. And it has Kazuma Kiryu, and I assume will be like a button mashing kind of action game again. Rather than a turn-based RPG. I'm just assuming.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They kind of, I feel like, said at some point, right, that the Judgment games were going to be the ones that were action based, and anytime Like a Dragon was the like beginning title of the game, it was going to be turn based. But this is a spin-off, so I think anything's possible. I don't know.
That must not be true because Like a Dragon Ishin came out and was a fighting game, not a turn-based game.
Okay. Yeah, I actually totally forgot that happened. Yeah.
I really want to play that too. I mean, I'm sad that I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I literally totally forgot that came out. So yeah,
the game looks really good.
Right.
Star Trek Infinite. Yep.
So a strategy game, right?
Yeah. It's yeah, like a paradox game. I don't know. Sure.
Yeah.
No. I'm not a Star Trek person, really.
Yeah, I could care less. Maybe not, actually.
If it's a good strategy game, I'll play it anyway. Let me put it that way. But if it's just a decent strategy game wrapped in Star Trek, then I will not play it. That John Carpenter thing made me really mad. The Toxic Commando.
Yeah, I put it on my list to talk about just because I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get John Carpenter's name for something, I mean, he's famously, John Carpenter is a big fan of video games, so it's a shame. He used to do his favorite games of the year list for Giant Bomb every year. So he likes video games, and he has tried a few times to have one made. There's a game of The Thing from a really long time ago. It was like an early 2000s or late 90s PC game. I think like a 2001 or something game. And it's actually pretty okay. But someone like John Carpenter deserves better, in my opinion.
I agree.
They have that new Akira Toriyama thing. God, I always forget about that fucking thing. They have that
actually looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, the Akira Toriyama thing.
Yeah,
that was one that had two trailers. One that showed a little bit more gameplay. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did. Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I don't fully know how this will feel or what exactly it'll be, but
yeah,
assuming like it's any fun at all to play, the stylization is fucking on point. So yeah, I would love to explore a desert world by Akira Toriyama's fucking design. Like,
it's interesting to have more actiony looking gameplay for sure, and there's like vehicle combat and stuff like that. It seems interesting. I mean, I'm not one of those people who's like automatically in just based on the Akira Toriyama stuff. So,
right. Yeah, same. It is really cool, obviously, that it all looks like that. But yeah, I hope there's like a demo or something, or I'll definitely be waiting until I see reviews and hearing good things. But if it is a cool, fun video game, the style is just so on point. That's a huge bonus for me, for sure.
Yep.
We'll see.
Let's blast through some of these. We got Pal World.
Yeah, that looks interesting. That's another one that I'm kind of just like, I mean, this could be a cool twist on Pokemon, I guess.
I laugh out loud every time they grab a gun. I mean, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. It looks kind of fun though. Like, I don't know if I'll buy this, but
it looks like it plays like shit, but the concept alone is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've got the Lord of the Rings Returns to Moria, which is supposedly some kind of fucking survival crafting thing, like a Valheim or something, I guess.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings Gollum came with their PS2 looking Lord of the Rings game, and then this guy came in like, hold my beer, I'll show you a PS2 looking Lord of the Rings game.
There's no way it's worse than Gollum, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it's close. It looks really bad in my opinion.
We've got the Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, which is from the people who made Vampire.
Yeah, this looks all right.
really liked Vampire, which is
Yeah,
hilarious.
I played a bit myself and enjoyed it. I didn't play too much of it, sadly, but what I did play, I enjoyed. The people I know that played it enjoyed it, so I'm going to be
Yeah,
keeping my eye on this. It seems like a cool concept, whatever it is. I'm kind of
sure.
unclear what the lore of the situation is, but it
Yeah,
seems kind of cool.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I the world and the story seem interesting enough. I could
Yeah,
have. I would also have been happy with a Vampire sequel because there's some stuff that you could still do in that world. But
yeah,
yeah,
and
either
who
way.
knows?
I
Maybe
mean,
they will.
hey, as long as they improve the gameplay from Vampire a little bit, because by the end that game was really fucking frustrating. But the story was good enough to keep me going, honestly. So story and
Oh yeah,
world, the world was great. I mean, that's an example of a game that really takes RPG aspects and dials them up. I mean, there's a lot of decisions you can make in that game. It's kind of nice. Um, had a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3. They're throwing Jason Isaacs in there. Really great to see Jason Isaacs and J.K. Simmons potentially interacting. That's
yeah,
truly, truly nice. Really looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3. Um, Path of Exile 2 stuff. That game looks nice, even
yeah,
though I don't know if
yeah.
there's any chance I'll play it.
Nope, not for me.
You mentioned Lies of P demo to me. I think yesterday, right? Or was that today?
I forget when, but all that stuff they showed, the presentation for Liza P, I'm very impressed. I haven't played the demo yet, so I don't know exactly
Okay.
how it feels. But
Yeah.
Merced, who I view as someone very overly critical of things that he doesn't like, liked it a lot. So I that makes me think that it might be good because if it was even the slightest bit of bad, he would have shat all over it and not thought twice about it. So
Yeah, my only issue with that line of thinking is that sometimes what he thinks is bad is just fucking stupid. So
oh, for sure.
um,
That's when I try to get him to try like Ghost of Tsushima. He didn't like the first time he played. I urged him
yeah,
multiple times to try it again. Now he's finished the whole game. So
yeah.
you know,
Fair enough. I will try the demo, I guess. Haven't yet. It does look
yeah.
nice. I mean, it's a nice looking game. The story stuff seemed like embarrassingly bad.
Oh yeah,
Which is a shame.
I don't care about that. I just want to. I
Uh,
hope the game is fun. That like the style is cool.
yeah.
Obviously, we know the inspiration of what they're kind of going for here, but
Yep.
all the weapon combination stuff looks kind of cool. And you're just how the parry system actually looks kind of cool. I normally don't really like parrying, but yeah, I'm interested. We'll see how it goes.
Let's talk about the real highlight of
Okay.
the Summer Games Fest showcase: Space Marine 2 co-op.
Dude, right? Actually, though, like, come on.
One of my favorite trailers that
Yeah.
we had in any of these fucking things. I mean, I was so
Uh,
stoked.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll be playing that for sure. Yeah. Remnant 2 release date, July 25th, around the corner. That game looks okay. I thought Remnant 1 was also okay. This looks better
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Looks like an improvement, so I'm interested. I don't think I'll be getting it on release, but I'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. I enjoyed the first one, so probably enjoy this one.
Mm-hmm. That's all I had for this event. Did you have anything else?
I don't know what's from this event, but I do
Okay.
have other things. Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll move on. And then anything I forget, we could just mop up at the end. Let's blast through Xbox here because that came next. It was the day after, I think, right? Or 2 days after? Was this Friday and that was Sunday? I think that might be right.
I don't even know, fam.
So this Xbox showcase was definitely Sunday, and I think it was 2 days later than the Summer Games Fest thing.
Okay.
I really liked it only because they showed a bunch of games that are the style of game that I am into. So, assuming these games come out well, which is a lot, maybe to assume of an Xbox Studios title in 2023, but I mean, we'll see how Starfield turns out. Anyway,
I think that looks really good.
I guess it's not really fair to call that Xbox Game Studios anyway, since it's technically Bethesda, but they're all owned. I don't know. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with Avowed.
Okay.
I know you like Obsidian.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't like New Vegas, and I feel like that's their most praised thing.
okay, I thought you didn't like the Outer Worlds. I thought that's what you.
No,
didn't
I did. I didn't finish it, but I mean, I enjoyed that game. What I did play.
Okay.
But I only played like 5 hours. So.
The fact that you insist on reminding me that you don't like New Vegas is just sick. Like it's truly disgusting.
Well, you just said I was a fan of Obsidian, so I had to correct you. Like, obviously, I wouldn't consider myself.
One of these days,
I do think they're good game devs, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
One of these days, we have to hash that out. Okay. I don't want to get mad right now. I don't want to get mad. Do you think Fallout 4 is better than New Vegas?
I think 3 and 4 are better than New Vegas.
That is fucked up. That is just so fucked up.
Let's drop you in the game, and if you go north for like 2 seconds, you're gonna get killed by a giant scorpion. Wow, so much freedom. Wow.
I mean,
Fallout
it's called
3, 4. I do whatever the fuck I want. I have a good ass time. Outer Worlds, I fucking blast a dude in the face, and I have a new main quest. Like, fuck out of here, dude. New Vegas is more like I don't even know. I don't even know what to call it. It's just bad.
So having some level of challenge early on that you cannot overcome is bad? Is that
No, it's the restriction. It's just the comparison from 3 to New Vegas was like, okay, I literally kind of did more or less what I wanted almost off the rip. And then in New Vegas, it's like, okay, I kind of now have the freedom to go any direction I want. And as soon as I went any direction that wasn't the main path, I was being punished, and I didn't like that. So I stopped playing it.
See, it's basically just two different versions of restriction, right? Because Fallout 3 has the level scaling thing, which basically ensures that early on, no matter what you run into, you'll kind of be able to handle it, with the exception of like death claws and some really high stat stuff.
Right.
New Vegas, instead, I think you have the ability to go truly wherever you want with a lot more danger early on.
Right.
But if you want to, I mean, you can go straight through, and I mean, certainly there are ways to do it, but yeah, I mean, fighting is not one of them. I mean, you're going to get creamed.
Yeah, 100%.
And I in the end, the latter portion of New Vegas is so much more open than any of the other 3D Fallout games. I mean, there are basically 4 endings that are 100% different from each other. Like, and that to me is truly amazing, and what I really want out of an RPG. Early on, they do kind of force you to take a path if you want the path of least resistance anyway. And I always end up doing it, like go to PIM, go to the big shaking hand statue place, all that stuff. But I don't know. I mean, even in the opening quest, you can side with the dynamite bandits against the town. That's so fucking hilarious. I mean, there's nothing like that in Fallout 3 or 4. I mean, 4, a little bit better. You kind of have the end factions that you can side with that do change things really substantially. But 3 is just, I mean, it's a good fucking game. I mean, they're all good games, but 3 is just like so weird. I mean, it's the quest.
I don't know, something about just getting lost in the world, and I just genuinely didn't even like finish the main quest. I would just go around doing things until I got bored every single time I played it.
Yeah,
I had such a weird Fallout 3 experience where I literally just, I don't know, got lost in the sauce. Kind of what I did with Ghost of Tsushima. Did not finish that game. I've played it for like 60 hours, and I just go around doing whatever the fuck I feel like doing. And I love that freedom to just get lost and immersed in the world in my own way. And yeah, New Vegas didn't give that to me. And
Not at the beginning.
I have
gives it to you eventually.
Yes, exactly. But. Yes, and that's what I was about to say. A big problem I have with anything, movies, shows, games, whatever it is, if you don't fucking get me in the beginning, it's going to be really hard for me to give a fuck. Like, I hate that about myself, but it's so true.
Man,
like,
I can't. And how the hell did you like 7 Remake?
Because it fucking pulled me in.
Oh god,
really fast. A lot of good cutscenes. I'm in it for the story though. I love the lore of Final Fantasy VII. Like, yeah. I could watch that whole game and be content as opposed to playing it.
Man. So Avowed.
Waiting for the cutscenes. Yeah, I was actually kind of disappointed in what I saw here.
I saw some people saying that. I was really into it. I thought it looked like kind of some of the best parts of Elder Scrolls and like the Outer Worlds kind of mashed together.
Right. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. So that is what kind of still gives me hope, because it's like, this could just be the best of both things, right? Yeah. Like, this could, in theory, be fucking awesome, but it also kind of made me worry, like, what is the true vision direction of this game? Like, I can't really tell. It was just kind of showing me a bunch of stuff that would kind of be in a game like this, and it's like, but wait. So I don't know. I think the game will probably be fun, just based off of the Outer Worlds, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Outer Worlds was fun. So I just hope, I don't know, maybe the writing is really solid, honestly. I think they've nailed fun games at this point, so I just want it to, I want something to, like, carry me through playing a Skyrim-like game, because I've just played so much Skyrim that I almost worry that if it's too similar to, like, Skyrim and Outer Worlds, I'll potentially be disinterested.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have its own, like, uniqueness to it, but
it seems looks, like they're leaning really hard into the spellcasting stuff. For sure. Which is kind of cool. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I thought the Outer Worlds was only fun to a point, and then it got really old, right?
Right.
I didn't even actually finish that game, which, from what I understand, is not even really that long. Part of that was because it runs like shit on my PC. I don't know why it stutters like crazy. I heard that new edition they released is also really bad and really broken, but
dang.
But yeah, Obsidian, I mean, we talked about KOTOR 2 versus KOTOR 1. Like, a lot of people thought back when they were making basically just like BioWare games, but written better. People really liked them at their most then. And I mean, I could see that. But I'm interested in this game. I mean, it's cool. It looks cool. It just needs to, I mean, like you said, it needs to be written better than the Outer Worlds was. I think that was part of the reason why, like, you didn't really feel like there was any sort of context or meaning for what you were doing.
Yeah. I literally played 5 to 6 hours, maybe even 10 hours of Outer Worlds, and I could not tell you a single thing about the story, the characters, or anything that happened, because it's just so uninteresting. Yeah. And I think that is, now that we're saying it out loud, that's probably why I didn't finish it, because I love the game. I feel like they nailed the Obsidian, like, a new version of what, like, New Vegas would be, but in space. Like, they nailed it. It's just the writing itself, I don't know. Yeah. Not work there. But yeah, it'll be on Game Pass, so I'll definitely play it, no doubt there, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. I'm interested. I'm hoping for the best. I mean, that's all I can really do. Yeah. Let's talk about Clockwork Revolution.
What the hell is that?
It is made by In Exile Entertainment. Most recently, they've been making the Wasteland games 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay.
They made.
I did skim past this. Okay.
They made a game called Arcanum.
Yeah.
It looks like BioShock Infinite in the weirdest way. I mean, to the point that like the opening trailer stuff, you're like, how is this allowed? Like legally, it seems like a gray area.
I mean, I remember I used to feel that way about Dishonored, though. I used to be like, this is like suspiciously like a Bioshock inspired thing, but
I guess. I mean, Dishonored.
They are different enough, but that's like that. I just always remember that was my first impression of Dishonored. I was just like, okay, this is like literally like a Bioshock inspired thing, and they are not hiding it. But but you're saying it's like even further up those notches, basically.
I mean, like crazy. I mean, pull up a trailer really quick while we're talking about it.
It was Clockwork what?
Clockwork
Revolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks ridiculously like, and In Exile Entertainment, by the way, has like some pretty intense pedigree. Like it's like the founder of In Exile is Brian Fargo, who was like executive producer on like Fallout 1 and 2.
Oh, I see.
So there's kind of a lot riding on this.
Yeah, and I mean, me and Gabe were kind of talking about this the other day, about like what makes something feel like Bioshock, because we were kind of agreeing with Merced that Lies of P has a kind of Bioshock feel to it as well as the Bloodborne feel to it, and we kind of came to a point where it's like the timepiece part of it, like that, what is it, like Victorian era? Is that the proper way to kind of the vibe and overall aesthetic of like the clothes they're wearing and stuff like that, and then the steampunkness to it, and this has both of those things 100%. It has that same era that it seems to be like kind of set in or taking inspiration from, at least.
Yeah,
and hella steampunk vibes.
I mean, Bioshock Infinite was Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
Excuse me. So, it was like very that, I mean, I think that's kind of the cornerstone of steampunk, is like very like inventor heavy, like inventor genius kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously Bioshock 1 and 2 were Art Deco, like 50s kind of style, so very different, but they still had some of the heavy inventor worship kind of stuff. Like, I mean, they always talk about like Bioshock 1 and 2, like their like criticisms of objectivism and like Ayn Rand kind of stuff. This game seems very much in line with Bioshock Infinite's style. 1800s
kind of cool
founding father stuff. I don't know. It's tough to say. It looks neat. I mean, it looks really nice. In Exile hasn't made a shooter that I'm aware of. So that could be interesting. This will more than certainly be like a Dishonored kind of, you get a bunch of powers and how you tackle something is really up to you kind of game. It's promising. I don't love the art style really at all, but
I don't hate it. But yeah, it's not like, hyping me off of that alone. It does look kind of fun though.
We could be at least a couple of years away from that game coming out also. So 2 to 3 years, I would say, seems like a realistic time frame. Well, we don't need to talk about the rest of this really. I just want to touch on the Fable trailer, which, even though it's just like a CG trailer, I thought like tonally was really nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed the trailer, but like, do they not have something to show yet? Like, really? Is it still just being made and they don't have something to show yet? That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not upset at the trailer itself. Good trailer. I enjoyed watching it. It was fun. I'm glad we got a like, hey, Fable still exists, so we're still going to give you that one day. But wow, like, I just kind of want to see it, like
this. The thing that made me feel somewhat like happy about this is that the game, like, Fable always tried comedy but was never funny, really. I mean, it was kind of it had like silly moments.
I disagree. Yeah, I always thought Fable was kind of funny. I don't know if I ever like laughed out loud, but I thought the humor has always been there.
It was charming. But yeah, I mean, this trailer was definitely like funnier than I remember Fable being, like wittier. Like Fable was always funny in the sense that it was like you went to the temple of evil and like could sacrifice people. You know what I mean? Or like dumb shit like that. Like it was always like very silly, and the way they talked about it was very stupid.
I think I agree with you that it seems wittier, but I've always felt that Fable kind of had a humor as a pretty big element to it. Like it was
definitely
never fully taken itself seriously and was always kind of just trying to be funny in its own little way. And I was happy. That's one of the things I liked about this trailer is it was like reinforcing that fact for me that Fable is still going to have this sort of silliness to it.
Don't get me wrong.
But yeah, I agree that it was like funnier, I think, than Fable has been. Just I hope the game is written like this trailer was, I guess.
Don't get me wrong. I'm well aware that Fable was always trying to be funny. I just don't. I think it was like leaning really hard into like slapstick comedy and fart jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which I mean, it was like it was like like late '90s, early 2000s.
Right.
So like whatever. I
mean,
but they kept that style of humor all the way through Fable 3, which was like a 2006 game or something. I think wasn't it? Like 2007.
I can't remember now, but I agree that. It's glad it's not still that humor.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they should have. I wish they had a little bit of gameplay.
Yeah,
but oh well.
Yeah.
I guess the last couple things I'll mention. Actually, there was a lot more. I'm liking this showcase more and more now that I'm scrolling through all these announcements. Okay. Let's talk about. I just want to touch on this. I don't know. Did you play Hellblade 1?
No. Sadly, I did not.
That game is really unsettling. I played through it recently, like a year ago, maybe.
Unsettling is not the word I was expecting.
It makes you uncomfortable, like just all the time.
I didn't know that.
They recommend you play with headphones, and then it's because like the character, she's like a schizophrenic. And has like her psychosis manifests in like a lot of voices in her head. And so the way they do the audio mixing, it's a lot of whispering in your ear constantly. It gave me anxiety. And there's a part in that game that is like truly scary in a way that I didn't like. I didn't appreciate it. I finished that game. It was good. It had an ending that I was like, they don't need to make another one of these, and they are anyway. But it looks like more of the same, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful. Pretty game. The first one was too. This budget looks like they've increased by tenfold. City Skylines 2 looks nice. I'm a sucker for city builders. That's all I'll say.
Cool. Hell yeah.
They did show, I forgot that they did this, and this was kind of a big deal. I think they showed Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, the sequel to what'd they call the last one? Yakuza 8 Like a Dragon? Is that what it was? Or was it Like a Dragon something?
Here it was just called Like a Dragon.
Is that true?
If it was called Yakuza Like a Dragon, then I just totally blocked that out of my memory.
Okay, it was Yakuza Like a Dragon. So,
okay.
Because it was the first one where they made, what's his name? Ichiban?
Yeah.
The protagonist. I didn't play it, obviously, because I have to play through all those games in order. So I'll play that game in 20 years. But,
yeah. AKA never.
No, it'll happen. I played through Yakuza 1, which is, I think, a feat of celebration. At this point, I'm going to play through one Yakuza game per year. I played through Yakuza 1 last year, so now we're due for Yakuza 2. I really liked the trailer for this game, where he wakes up on the beach. That was funny. I saw a bunch of people saying that he's in Miami, which to me seems really stupid because he's probably in Hawaii.
No idea, but I am very excited for more of Ichiban. That's all I can really say.
People were like confused because there were a lot of people speaking English, which would be a first for the game, for the franchise, like really. And obviously, like almost all the Yakuza games take place in the same city block in Japan. So this would be a big departure from that either way.
But
I don't know. I was just so confused. Everyone was like, wow, they're in Miami. I'm like, why is that your first assumption? I do understand.
People don't leave their fucking bedroom, dude. These gamers don't know. They're like, beach, Miami, Florida.
There's like such a logical, like, you're like, wow, nowhere in Japan has a beach, so it must be Miami. A beach and white people means Miami, and it's like, dude,
yeah,
come on. So funny. So
yeah.
The trailer looked good. I mean, it looks like a fun game, like a fun story, like they all do. So no gameplay, but I assume it's going to be a turn-based RPG, just like
I imagine so.
Okay, did you watch this Metaphor Refantasio fucking Atlas thing?
Nope.
It looks really cool. The menu, like, I was watching Nextlander give commentary.
What's it called?
It's called just search
Refantasio. I see.
Yeah. It looks it's not a Persona game, but it's by Atlas, so I mean, they make Shin Megami and they make Persona, and it looks like a weird blend between those things. But there is very clearly like a moving through the world kind of like Persona sort of daytime thing, but it's like a fantasy, like medieval world. So in this trailer,
it's giving me Fire Emblem Three Houses vibes.
Totally.
With a way better,
and then
design.
When they showed the menus, I like started clapping. like you.
Yeah, this looks cool. I don't know how I missed this. None of the sites brought this game up at all. Every
time they start,
oh, this is cool as fuck.
Like a new Persona game, you're like, oh my god, they're pushing the boundaries of menu design. And this game,
someone's got to. God damn it,
it's true. I mean, this game is just oozing with fucking style. It looks like the most ridiculous anime bullshit ever, and I'm so excited. It looks so nice.
Yeah. So this being at the Xbox thing, does it mean it's on Game Pass or will be on Game Pass?
I don't think so. I don't believe so. It is it was part of the Microsoft showcase, but I think they just had the deal to show it there. I don't think it's a Game Pass game.
Because the other Personas are.
That's true.
Just saying.
You're
They're
right.
in bed together.
It's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'm still of the mind that Microsoft is going to buy Sega.
I don't think so, but that would be. I don't think Sega would even consider selling. But
money talks, baby.
That's fair. I mean, we have to see if this fucking Activision thing goes through first.
It has to go through like really soon, or it's not. So yeah. We'll see soon.
They showed that Capcom game here as well. The
Exo Primal.
No, no. Kunitsu, Path of the Goddess.
I didn't see that one.
Fucking looks beautiful, man. It looks really nice. A lot of people from the beginning of the trailer were guessing it was going to be an Onimusha game, and then it totally was something more interesting than that. I can't even tell what the gameplay is, but it looks cool. I mean, it's like at first I was like, is this like a new Monster Hunter thing? But no, it's not. I don't know. Looks neat. Yeah, not much more to say.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It looks interesting. Definitely like the style and the graphics are good.
Yeah.
I'm glad Capcom's doing more stuff that's not just like, here's the same IP again.
Yeah.
Although that being said, I'm actually really sad we didn't see new Monster Hunter World, whatever it'll be called, World 2 or Universe or whatever. But
it's out there, I'm sure. They're tinkering away, making sure it's the best game ever made.
Working on it. Yeah, I mean, it still blows my mind, but Monster Hunter World is still the highest selling and most profitable game for Capcom ever. So they're definitely going to make another one. The
game was a huge fucking deal. I mean, people who did not care at all about Monster Hunter were into Monster Hunter World. Like, that's a big thing.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Payday 3,
This game looks awesome. Yeah, sorry, I'm still going through the trailer.
No, yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
This is fucking cool as shit.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, wow. Huh. All right. But yeah, Payday, cool. Got another one.
Yep. Moving on. Persona 3 Reload is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I played a bit of Persona 3 on the PSP. I did not know that if they did a remake or a remaster, they would go all the way with it. I mean, I'm impressed. I had seen rumors of this happening, and I was like, what would you even do with that? But they just, I mean, like, you know, people who haven't played Persona 3 don't know just how different that game was from 4 and 5. I mean, there was not really, I mean, there definitely wasn't voice acting, like, to the degree that, like, you know, all of the, like, Persona 4 and 5 had voice acting. And there wasn't a 3D world to run around. Like, you just navigated to different locations in a menu.
Oh, wow. I know that.
So it, like, except for the dungeons, obviously. The dungeons were 3D, but everything else was just a click to move kind of thing. Like Persona 1 and 2 games were very much like that. I mean, they still had social links and stories and things like that, but it was...
Right. You just moved around the map and would interact,
Yep. So, I don't know. I mean, if they're making it more like 5, where you run around everywhere, that's fucking badass. And I saw somebody say that they had full voice acting for all of the social link stuff, which is crazy. Yeah. So, I did see a rumor that maybe they're not even doing the because Persona 3 was the last one that let you pick your character's gender, and then they had different kind of stories based slightly on that.
Okay.
This game does not. Apparently, the remake is dropping the female arc, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
That was. I'm not sure if that is true or not, but anyway. They also did Persona 5 Tactica, which looks cute. I'm not sure if I'll play that. Maybe I will. Still Wakes the Deep from the Chinese Room, which did the second Amnesia game. Machine for Pigs. They also did Dear Esther and some other kind of walking style games. This game looks more horror-y than a lot of stuff they've done. It looks kind of cool. It's a cool idea. Being trapped on an oil rig is terrifying. Man, there was a lot of shit in this showcase. This is why this was the best one. The Phantom Liberty trailer looks dope. It's cool that they got Keanu Reeves to introduce it. That's fucking awesome. Yeah. I've heard people saying, like, who've gotten hands-on with this thing, that it's basically completely different from the base game. Like, it has, like, all new skills, and, like, the way the game plays and feels is totally different. They will also back patch.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
So, like, all of the improvements that, like, basically instead of patching 2077, they are adding all of those improvements into Phantom Liberty, and then they will backport those for owners of the base game. So, like, it'll launch alongside a huge patch that changes the game, the base game, in, like, huge ways, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I really am. Ever since they announced it, before we knew anything, I'm just like, yes, I want more Cyberpunk. Like, it really does suck that this game had the launch that it did, because it deserved better. And I don't think a single dev wanted to put it out when they did, and they knew it needed more time, and it just sucks. But
yeah, for sure.
But it seems like it's slowly, earning, the sort of, I don't know if the respect it deserves is the right way to put it, but you know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's finally kind of getting there slowly but surely. More and more people are like, oh yeah, Cyberpunk is actually playable now, and this is a good video game, and we can praise this, and fuck yes, I want more. Yeah,
I mean, I've already forgotten, but I mean, you were there, maybe you remember. I think Cyberpunk was my favorite game the year that came out.
I can't remember.
It was close. I mean, I did really enjoy it. It was also the most disappointing one because of the ways in which it faltered, but it was still really good. So
It's
you're
so
right. I mean,
good.
it deserved better. It deserved better because Witcher 3 was one of my favorite games ever. Witcher 2 was also great. 1 was kind of a janky mess, but I mean, this had the potential to be something, and story-wise, world-wise was really pretty well realized, but gameplay-wise it left something was missing in that game, and I hope they find it in the expansion. It's also cool to have Idris Elba in it. I don't know how much is going to be there, but it seems neat.
Yeah.
They also say it's a sequel, which is, or not a sequel, but like, I mean, obviously V's in it, so it must take place kind of somewhere between the end of the base game, but there's like basically like an end and then kind of a prologue to the base game. Did you finish it?
I'm at the end.
Okay.
I'm on the last mission. Yeah.
I mean, a lot happens I said prologue, I meant epilogue. A lot happens at the end of that game. Like, there's a pretty definitive conclusion to your character's story, really, no matter what you picked throughout. And
right.
So it must kind of be sandwiched in between those sort of events, because obviously V is present. So Johnny Silverhand is present. I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I was imagining it would be kind of one of those DLCs that the kind of thing where it's like, you can go do this once you're this level, or maybe you'll have access to it from the beginning of the game if you start a new game, and it'll like sort of just enhance the game overall now and add a lot more content to it. But yeah.
Before we get into Starfield, I want to talk about the controller that they showed. They announced like a limited edition Starfield controller. I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Oh, I didn't see this. Hold
on. It's fucking amazing.
Starfield controller. Oh, I hope it's not this one. The white one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I actually don't care for this.
Really? Man.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
It's fucking clean.
Yeah, it doesn't match my Xbox's Y though. That's pretty much the only reason. I guess the controller itself doesn't like look bad to me. I'm just like,
fair.
My Xbox is black. This is like white and red.
That's
like,
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I would be using it on PC 100% of the time anyway.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
But I mean, it's I'm still using the Elite One as my PC controller, and that thing is like, as I drop it, it's like that is my. I've been using it since it came out, which was, I guess, like 5 years ago now. I can't even keep track anymore. 4 years ago? I don't know. It is on its last legs. It needs to be replaced.
Gotcha.
I mean, the rubber on the thumbsticks is like completely done. The D-pad double presses.
Oh, nice.
Which is really infuriating sometimes. So,
yeah.
Anyway, it's time. I think it's time.
So, Persona 5 Tactics?
I mentioned that. Yeah. It's cute.
Yeah.
I'll try it, most likely.
Yeah. Maybe.
This is where they announced Star Wars Outlaws as well, which...
Oh, okay.
I wasn't... like, the story trailer didn't really do it for me, personally.
No.
But I'm sure it's going to be fine. The gameplay seemed okay.
The story trailer made me want it to be like Star Wars Galaxies. I was like, oh, can I be a robot wearing a cloak, be a bounty hunter?
Yeah.
But no, it's just this... Yeah,
it's a narrative game.
It is. Yeah.
Open world narrative game, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Starfield. It's time.
Yeah, I'm into it. This looks pretty fucking good, honestly. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing.
I don't remember the last time I was this excited for something. Which means that it will only let me down.
I mean, maybe, they've kept delaying it. I think they've done what Bethesda doesn't typically do, which, I mean, not that they haven't ever delayed something, but they kind of put something out in a not as good state as we'd like. And I think they're doing what Cyberpunk didn't do, which is take the real time it needs instead of just being like, we got to put it out.
Yeah.
Let's actually just keep delaying it. And they did. I don't even know how many times they've delayed it now, but I feel like its original release was like a couple of Novembers ago. And now here we are finally getting it. And I'm so happy that it looks the way that it does in terms of polish. Like, this looks fucking awesome. And then, you see a lot of that Bethesda formula in there in a new way. I can't tell if it's just because it's in space and sci-fi and stuff that it looks so new, but I love what I'm seeing in terms of like the Bethesda stuff we're used to from other projects, and it just looks like a much better designed that too. Like the skill tree and all that, was really happy to see all the in-depth stuff that they were showing, and it just, wow, I'm really excited for this.
They really held nothing back. I mean, they talked openly about this game in a way that I really appreciated. It gave me confidence in its quality.
100%.
The original release date was November 11th, 2022. So it was announced.
Okay.
It was announced June in 2021, and so they announced it was coming out November 2022, and then now we're here. So.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was a year back for all of that.
Yeah.
Like, heard about it 2020 and projected 2021.
I feel like it had also been rumored for quite a long time.
Maybe that was the case. I guess I can't remember now. But either way, I'm glad that they are, I think, taking the proper time to make sure it is not going to be the typical Bethesda jank that we kind of get on release for their past few things.
Mm-hmm.
It looks polished. I love the direction they're going. I'm very eager to see how much I like the writing. And how just lost in the sauce I can get. Like, this looks like a dream come true type video game. So I can't wait. It's on Game Pass. Like, it's all the pieces are aligned in a way that I just like. It looks so good. Honestly, if I truly do enjoy it as much as I think I will, I might just buy it too, out of pure respect for them actually delivering a quality fucking game for the first time in what's felt like a while, like from Bethesda. And then also Microsoft, even like, when's the last time we got something like this under Microsoft's fucking like roof?
Yeah, it's true.
Of games. Like, it's, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think not much more to say until we get hands on with it, but it looks like everything that we've been kind of asking for from Bethesda. I mean, that's really the best way to put it. I mean, it has the open world kind of breadth of like Skyrim, fully realized, but maybe some of the depth of some of their older titles that was missing in Skyrim and Fallout 4, in my opinion.
No, I think a lot of people feel that way.
And I'm not one of those people who had a lot of problems with the shooting in Fallout 3 or 4. But I know people for a long time have made fun of the way Bethesda games feel to play. And this looks like a decent improvement on that stuff without,
agreed. I was really impressed with the shooting. I was like, damn, that looks fucking fun. Like,
it looks nice. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah. And the space stuff, I'm curious how it'll handle. But I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to play it on PC. So
I'm going to play it on my TV. I really want to like take it in that way. I don't think there's any right or wrong answers, of course. But yeah, this one I think I am going to play on the Xbox on the TV.
So the thing we probably should talk about is, did you see that it's locked to 30 FPS on consoles?
No, that probably won't bother me since I primarily have always played on consoles. But if it does, at least I will have a PC just in case. Mm-hmm. But no, I did not see that. That's unfortunate, but it's a pretty ambitious game, so I guess I kind of understand in a way.
Yeah, I agree that initially that announcement kind of surprised me. Like I thought, okay, well, I really thought we were past this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as society, but ultimately, I mean, if you think about it, these consoles are by the time this comes out almost 3 years old, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, you want fidelity? Do you want frame rate? I mean, some games let you choose. This game, I guess, will not. So,
Yeah, and we're definitely around the corner of new iterations of these consoles. It is crazy to think about that, but that's definitely true. I mean, if it's not going to be announced by the end of this year, we will definitely be hearing about the new versions of the consoles next year. And those will probably be the ones that run this at a 60
yeah,
stable frame rate.
I think we're probably looking at a 2025 launch for new consoles.
Yeah, I could see
my
that.
guess,
Yeah.
like a
Or next winter, maybe even. But yeah.
yeah, but we'll see, man. This could be cool. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited about what Xbox is leaning into in terms of, you know, just getting big games out there. All finally, you know, I mean, Starfield will be the real first thing under the Microsoft roof, like you said, and it will kind of set the stage for things like Avowed and that Clockwork Revolution game, and Fable and other stuff they've been working on.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite was supposed to be that and really did not do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
And then just to touch on it real quick, the Ubisoft Forward stuff. They showed a lot of Star Wars gameplay, Outlaw or whatever. Looks okay. Story game. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of low on it. It's one of those things that could be really cool. I do like the idea, like the concept.
Yeah.
And they gave us a proof of concept that isn't horrible. So it's like, okay, I'm not totally turned off to this, but I just don't like those kinds of gameplay demonstrations where it's like just a slow, borderline scripted play of a little tiny sliver of some level, probably.
Yeah.
The stuff that like Starfield gave us is way more ideal, or like Avatar gave us, or stuff that really showed a lot of what this game is about, instead of just like the proof of concept, basically. But yeah, this could be really cool. I think once we see more of it and the space travel and real scope of the game is fully kind of unveiled to us, I'll know for sure how I feel about it. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it visually looks really nice, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
Nothing about the way the game was being played really made me that excited. But who knows? I mean, as we see more, that could change. Yeah. There is space combat stuff, which surprised me.
Yeah, it looked pretty fun too.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the highlight for me. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Yep. Avatar
looks cool. Kind of was happy to see them go more in depth with it. They showed a decent amount, but I don't know. I think it'll ultimately boil down to how it feels. Open world games need to feel really good or be driven crazily by the narrative, and I don't think this game is going to pull me with the narrative. So
no.
Kind of just hoping the game feels really good. I would love the game. Looks fucking incredible.
Looks nice.
And I love the world and lore for Avatar, so I'd love to kind of get lost in that a little bit and just fuck around for X amount of time. But yeah, I don't know. I hope it's good. This is one I'll definitely be waiting for reviews to kind of see what the world thinks.
It could be cool. I actively dislike the world of Avatar, so this will be a real test for me.
Right.
And it's basically the proof of concept for that Avatar game that Ubisoft made like back in the Xbox 360 generation, if you remember that.
Barely.
They basically did this already. the same style of game. It was an open world, like kind of. In that one, the big crux was
Pandora.
Exactly. Yeah. The big crux in that one was you could choose your faction that you wanted to side with. So you could be like on the humans or the Na'vi side.
What?
And it changed the story and the gameplay like accordingly.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Who would pick the humans? Like, I respect that choice to as a game dev that they went that route, man. To
some people are into fascism. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's the funny thing about like Avatar world stuff is that it's so like cartoonishly like evil shit that the humans, exactly. I mean, like it's like
unobtainium. We need the resource because money.
Like a big
mustache,
Iraq war metaphor thing. Yeah, I mean it's
right.
It's, I don't know. Fucking anyway. I mean, but that was the crux of that, and this kind of seems like they're going back to that well a little bit. Although it doesn't seem like you get to choose. It seems like they're like, we're making this choice for you. The humans are bad people. But yeah, I mean, gameplay wise, very similar. In terms of like style, I guess. Open world, kind of move around, a lot of combat. So who knows?
Yeah, you fly the thing, you go to the floaty rocks, you know,
do some stuff.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Prince of Persia at the beginning. You're not a huge fan. I think the gameplay deep dive they did on the Ubisoft showcase made me look forward to it a lot. There's a lot of really cool time stuff that they're throwing in here that make it look pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
But we can move on from that. Really, the last thing here is Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is basically exactly what you and I have been asking for. Return to Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 1 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it even looks more Assassin's Creed 1 than Assassin's Creed 2 did. You know what I mean? Like they're going back to it. I mean, they're like
right. Yeah.
They're like doing all of the you have to do the prep missions on the way into assassinating your target and stuff like that. Very like combat might be, you know, pretty difficult as soon as you're facing down a larger group of enemies, like prioritizing running. Because I remember that was Assassin's Creed 1 was you were really fragile and it was fighting was pretty challenging.
Yeah, once you were found, it was usually the right idea to run and try and get away and hide and then pick them off one at a time. Yeah.
It seems like they're going back
and it was so fucking awesome. Yeah, I miss old Assassin's Creed now that we like are talking about it, honestly.
Well, here you go, man.
Yeah.
This is for you.
So this VR game, though, kind of took my mind completely off of the other Assassin's Creed stuff.
It seemed cool. Yeah, I'm very curious how it's going to work, but...
Yeah, me too. But I was like, is this just like fake gameplay? And then they show the guy in the VR moving around, like doing the motions. And I'm like, no, this is what we're doing. Okay, so this is fucking lit then. This is what? Like, it's so... It fits like... The like lore too of like going in an animus as well. So just like, wow, this has potential to be really fucking cool. And it's going to be on Quest. So fuck yeah.
It's a cool idea. I hope it's good. It's a cool idea. Yep. They, I don't know what you could do to get me to put a VR headset on again. I mean, maybe this is it. Probably not. I really do not see myself ever doing that.
What are you looking for from VR?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, Half-Life Alyx was a big enough deal that I was willing to put up with that.
Yeah.
And it ended up being amazing, but no other game has appealed to me since. And I literally, my VR headset is buried under some shit, like here next to my desk.
Not even Resident Evil 4 VR, this guy.
Didn't touch it. Yeah,
it's like the best $20 you could spend, bro.
I believe you. I mean, I've been meaning to try. That was actually that was the closest that I had gotten. Was that? But yeah, I mean, I have not. Literally, the last time I used it, I was still living in Chicago. So I mean,
Yeah.
Like I was like
long ass time ago.
playing Half-Life Alyx. I mean, go back and listen to those podcasts to hear me rant and rave about how fucking insanely good that game is. And then never touched that thing. I think I downloaded that Medal of Honor VR game they did.
Yeah, they won like an Oscar.
Did it?
Yeah, from its like for like I think documentary or something like that for the historical like video they like kind of threw together that's so accurate,
cool,
and well made that they
fun.
like won an Oscar.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean,
shout out to Respawn.
That game, yeah, Respawn makes good shit, and I mean, I was excited for that game, and then I played it, and it was a little janky and didn't feel that good. But I don't know. Maybe this is it. Maybe Assassin's Creed VR is it. Resident Evil 4 VR was almost it. Get me back in the headset land. It's pretty funny that PSVR 2 is just like swinging in the wind right now.
Yeah, it's doing exactly what the first one did. It launched with a really mediocre library and a lot of promises, and eventually it'll just kind of exist with a actually decent library.
Yeah.
And fulfilled promises. Yeah. And I'm waiting for that day. When it has a decent library, I'm probably going to pick one up, honestly. Really excited about that screen, dude. It's like the best bang for buck, period.
Yeah, and I heard the headset is way more comfortable, which is the main thing that, I mean, Quest 2 is just so front heavy. They did announce a Quest 3, I think I saw.
Yeah, it's apparently going to be really like better designed for comfort and all that, so I'm pretty excited. But
I could be convinced if it's a big enough, but I don't know. VR is just, if you live in New York, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I mean, there's not enough room. It's impossible.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's impossible. I mean, that was the I didn't even see Ready Player One or read the book, but that's the most unbelievable thing about that is that I remember like seeing a part of the trailer where he's like in like a trash filled trailer park or something with his headset on.
Yeah, they buy these, like, I forget what they're called, but they buy these things they stand on that kind of like, it's like an omnidirectional treadmill basically, and you just like move on those while you're playing. Yeah. Okay. It's like a little circle you would buy, like a DDR mat, basically, you know? It's like a circle you buy that's just like a really
strange,
crazy omnidirectional thing you can walk on. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They use those.
Yeah. We're a long way from VR being as good as it needs to be, but Apple thinks that somebody will pay $3,600 to do it, or $3,500 or whatever.
It's really interesting to finally see their version of whatever the fuck it's going to be, AR VR hybrid thing, and it be that expensive, because I've always thought, you know, I mean, it is kind of like in Apple's ethos, like I'm not that surprised. It's just like, I don't know. They make products that are like industry defining. You know what I mean? They made the iPhone, the iPad, the watch, the iPod. Like when they make things, it is like something that sticks and is very popular and expensive. But, you know, the AirPods, like whatever it is, every time they're releasing a new product, like actually new product, it sticks around and is usually pretty popular. So I'm really interested to see who this is for and how it does and where they kind of go from here. I think its Gen 2 version will be really interesting to see, assuming they do one. Yeah. But I'm not really sure what or who this is for right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like their technology that has been more defining of technological evolution, like iPhone, iPod, you know, MacBook Air, like things like that are always the things that people remember. The things, I mean, the watch is kind of a weird one because it was sort of defining, but it took some generations to really catch on.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, same with the iPhone. I mean,
well,
for sure. But the watch also was the like most sold watch in the world at some point. I don't remember when but it obviously fucking took on like and
for every watch there's like a home pod, which is something that no one needs or asked for, but I mean is a nice to have, finger quotes, and that's where this headset kind of feels like. It's like no one needs this, no one's asking for this, but people who can afford it will buy it and think it's nice. You know what I mean? Like that's there's
I guess
there's a podcast that I follow. I don't think you have to. I am subscribed to their Patreon, but I don't think you have to be. It's called Brad and Will Made a Tech Pod. That's like Brad from formerly Giant Bomb, now Nextlander, and Will, who was one of the founders of Tested.com back in the day, who did like all that tech shit. Have a podcast together, and they interview their friend Norm, who was also on Tested. I don't know if you remember, but Tested was like one of the Mythbuster guys, like baby. Like one of the two Mythbuster dudes was like a big tech guy and wanted to have a website and stuff dedicated to it. So they founded Tested. And Norm was also part of that. So Norm got invited to use the Apple VR, and they put out a podcast last week talking about it, but I haven't had the chance to listen to it yet.
Okay.
I really want to hear what his impressions are, because he was a big early VR adopter as well, as a lot of tech people were. I mean, it's such a fascinating concept. Very like sci-fi fiction come true kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's my thing. I subscribe to these VR channels that go really in depth into VR. That's like publicly available, like new things being talked about, patented stuff that's not publicly available but that already exists that they get to go try and stuff like that. And I don't know, VR is just in such a place where why I really don't understand what the Apple product is, kind of the price point and what it seems to do, which I don't know. There's just gonna, especially in the coming years, because VR, honestly, with the help of Meta, putting so much money into it, as well as, a few other named companies. But I don't know, VR is just going such a direction so fast in terms of like the quality of the headsets and then where the price points are going to try to be. The 3.5K is not like something that even if people have money in like Apple, if they're going to be doing any amount of research with how they spend their money and are like, okay, but what can I really get in this type of product for that amount of money, you could get so much more out of VR with that kind of money, like or an weird hybrid AR experience too. Like I don't know, I'm confused. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's
give me the Vision S. Give me the S model of this.
Yeah,
and then I think I'll get it. But
that's why I wanted to hear kind of the deep dive impressions, because I'm curious about what it actually is trying to do. Because the presentation, was terrible. It didn't make it clear at all.
No.
Realistically, like, okay, what's the next most expensive VR headset? It's like the Quest Pro at like $1,500.
Where's the Valve?
Valve was 1,000
for the whole. Okay.
I think it's still 1,000. I don't think they ever put that on.
I guess the notable thing to mention is I'm assuming Apple's thing is self-operated.
Oh, for sure.
Other expensive VRs need PCs and other hardware to function, other than Quest, obviously. But
the Quest Pro doesn't.
I've always tried to keep that in my mind. Like, this is going to be something that operates on its own, and we don't know the quality of the stuff it's going to be able to do yet, I think. Correct? We don't really know its specs or how far it can be pushed. So maybe this is going to be like actually insane if it has like a computer's worth of tech inside to like help power it. But then that's also like horrifying. It's like made of glass. Like, I don't want to walk around with, multiple grand of breakable tech on my face either. Like, it's kind of just spooky to even think about.
The Valve Index is still $1,000. So
okay. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, you could get a decent PC and an Index for less than or close to this price point. So it's like,
less than for sure. I mean, you could get one of the top of the line gaming PCs for $2,000, and spend $1,000 on the Index. And it's, I don't know. Apple does what they do, and they're kind of like Nintendo in that regard. There are people who are big enough fans that will pretty much buy anything. There's also enough rich people out there who just buy Apple products kind of at a whim.
Yeah, and I know people like that feel this way about the headset too. So that's so true. It's just, realistically, in terms of people that are interested in VR, which is
Yeah.
who I think will keep the VR world going, I don't think they'll be interested in this product.
No, not
But
at
we
all.
don't know what it does yet, really. So I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to be game focused in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, which is primarily the audience for VR headsets. Otherwise,
Yeah, which is interesting because I do like the non-gaming things in VR that exist, and I wish more people were doing cool stuff in VR that wasn't just like play a game. Because sometimes I want to do VR stuff, but I don't necessarily have the energy to play a game. So I wish there was
yeah,
more shit being developed that isn't solely games. So maybe that's a like weird space Apple's going to try to design in. But
sure.
yeah, the FaceTiming stuff. I don't know what they showed. I'm not interested in. So whatever. We'll see how it goes. Assassin's Creed.
I think that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I can't think of anything else.
I think that was it. I'm starving, so that means it has to be it. But I'll say this: we should get back together. I think. Have you played the Final Fantasy demo, or are you going to play the Final Fantasy demo?
I want to. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to because this could be the final thing. That's like maybe I don't want this, even though I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah.
Maybe the demo will convince me I don't. And I can buy more Magic cards or something. But you know, I am going to play that. Yeah, probably today or tonight after I do what I'm about to go do at 1. I want to play the Liza P demo and the Final Fantasy demo really bad.
Okay. I think. When does Final Fantasy come out? I forgot. But
Next week.
okay. Tuesday or Friday? Final Fantasy. Let's see.
That's the question. I want to say it was going to be the 20, like the early 20s, but
Okay, 22nd is what it says. So that's Thursday night.
Thursday.
So I
Yeah.
guess probably Thursday like midnight kind of thing, or Thursday 11
Right.
p.m. kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I guess we're getting back together to talk next weekend. I mean, I don't know. It seems like we have to. It seems like as gamesmen, it is our responsibility.
Yeah, I think I'm able to do that. I have a lot of weird stuff going on
Okay.
in life right now. I told you I got in a car wreck in January, right? Someone hit my car.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so finally, 6 months later, it's gotten inspected. I've been on like the waiting list for it to get inspected. It's finally gotten inspected and they decided it's totaled. So I'm about to not have a car, which makes things really awkward for me. In a lot of ways, I'll have to be relying on people more and or doing things at awkward times because I can't just do them freely. So in theory, though, in the mornings is when I'll still be the most available. So I think we'll be good, but I'm not really sure.
Are you getting like an insurance payout for that, or what's going on there?
Yeah, they're gonna pay me out for the car,
Okay.
and yeah,
Nice.
we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much it'll be.
Hopefully a lot.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. All right. Well, hope things work out and doesn't get in the way of. I mean, it's kind of like golden. It's shitty because I'm in the same boat. I mean, personal life gets in the way all the time of game stuff, and this is like one of the best years we've had for video games in a really long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll see. All right, man. Well, good luck. Thanks for chatting, taking some time to hang out.
Show.
We'll be back. Peace.
Peace.